All right, you guys, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Wicked Raider 22. We're going to take a look at, of course, a little gameplay this time. And let's do another team building. So we have, of course, we're fresh off of Clan versus Clan, which that worked out pretty well. Just did a video recently on faction wars because of course we have some crypts that are opening there that are definitely going to be of interest. Took a look at the sacrifice you sometimes have to make, or you were definitely going to start making when it comes to building your champions. And now, I don't know if you guys remember or not, we were in a battle and I was talking about how nice it would be for us to finally be able to get a reviver on our team. We pulled an ancient shard that appeared just as a little reward. And oh my, guess what? And where did he go? Guess what we pulled? Now, I don't know how I feel about this one now. This is Grinner. Grinner, of course, is going to fall into that undead horde. Let's take a look at some of his skills. So he has Bile, attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of placing a 25% increased attack buff on all enemies for 2 turns. Now, this increased attack is kind of what you see when we're looking at War Priest, of course. This chance applies individually for each ally, and he is attack based, which you can ascend this, and it will increase attack buff by 50% instead. Doesn't take very many books, so I can kind of deal with that one. He has shock, attacks all enemies. You guys know how much I love to see those 3 words. Attacks all enemies, has a 20% chance of removing 1 random buff from each target. Now, this is a big one. 8 levels, of course. There are a couple of cooldowns that would be really, really nice. So if you are 8 is kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot for me. I'm more of a 6 or less, especially since we're trying to play conservatively here. There's an unbury, and this is where I got excited. We're going to ignore the 7 turn. We're going to focus on the fact that we can get this down to a 4 turn if we focus on these cooldowns, but it revives an ally with 50% HP. There are champions that you will encounter early on. And when I say early, guys, I mean really early, like level 35-ish. You will start receiving those champions that are able to revive 1 and sometimes 2 champions. So he also places a shield buff on the revived champion for 2 turns, equal to 20% of their max HP. Not bad. Now, where this becomes important, if you are running a team, for example, or if you're in a campaign and you're trying to get those last set of stars where you can only run 2 champions, even if the other champion dies, if he revives them before the battle itself ends, you still receive credit. This is also big as you move up, of course, in arena. It's another area. I can think of when you're going through certain dungeons and you get to a certain point, you need your champions put back on their feet. So I am kind of feeling this one. He does also have an aura, so increases ally resist and faction crypts by 30. So hey, beginning game, I'm gonna be honest. I think we're going to lock Grinner. And I told you guys, the further we go, the more champions we actually end up getting. And it becomes really hard to let them go. So right now, I have 10 champions in particular that I'm really interested in building up. And don't forget, Shield Guard is still down here as a level 1. We definitely need to go in and kind of put some artifacts on him so I can remember to bump him up. And everybody else is kind of serving as food. Now, we have artifacts, of course, on our first 5. We do not have a large number of rings, which I know I don't have any high elf ones. So it knocks out my group, of course. Dark elves, she already has one. Undead hordes, we have nothing. Banner lords is another one. So we're not going to have a lot of what we would like to put on people. Knight's Revenant. So we're going to work on Executioner is another one. And I need to work on Shield Guard as well. So we're going to put a few artifacts on a few champions. We'll start with, how do we pronounce that? Myrmidon is kind of what I'm thinking. This was our level 2, just to do a little refresh on him. He had Bone Splitter. Whew, okay, I'll be honest. This 9 levels, y'all. 9 levels, 8 levels with Disarm Sweep. But he does attack all enemies for his second attack. In their miss, places that 50% ally protection. He also tosses a continuous heal. And of course, he has the ally defense in dungeons by 20%. So we were thinking about kind of fleshing him out just a little, only because honestly, I've never worked with him. It's not going to be my strongest area, but hey, we can definitely take a look. Now, HP, we've already added just a little bit from the team overall. As far as speed, I would definitely like to see a little speed added in. And I wouldn't mind working on this accuracy, and that crit rate, crit damage is also a percentage that's in the back of your mind. So let's see. We can probably go in on speed. This looks like a pretty good one. Oh, and we can now go all the way up. Let's go to level 8. We don't have a lot of silver, so I'm going to stick to level 8. I may take it all the way down to level 4, to be honest. But I think with him, it may be kind of nice to try to get him to level 8 across the board. But we're going to have to run a couple of multi-battles because we are going to run out of silver. I'm preferring the 3-star over anything else. If you're going to add an artifact, if you're going to actually be in charge of a particular champion, you may as well try to go with the best stats and substats that you're able to acquire. It's nice to see more percentages than anything, because I know as I build this particular champion's level, we should do pretty well. These animations, remember, will go away at level 40. So you can just click the button and tell it, hey, I want to go to level 12. It's going to deduct that amount. And it goes a lot quicker than having to see that over and over again. Now, we can increase accuracy, which would probably be nice. Kind of looking at the boots and maybe the helmets. The glove is one that's really hard. So if I have a 3-star in another area as far as the glove, we will take that. And right now we're going to be glove challenged. Everyone else needs 4. Taking down a 2, and that 2 is always dealing with, oh, okay. We have Immortal. We can do a glove, and then of course we can do a shield. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and do the glove and shield here, and then go back with the other 2. And that's pretty much what it's going to end up being. So sometimes I end up not necessarily doing the best build out at first. A lot of times I am honestly thinking about short term in the next few battles, what I want this champion to do, until you kind of get a feel for them. The other thing that I'm looking at also doing is using the artifacts that I currently have that are the highest level to see how far they can actually take me. Now, as you're placing these, you still want to be careful. You don't want to upgrade anything that's in a battle of 2. You're sitting here thinking to yourself, let me take that off and try something different. And I mean, these are epic artifacts. So we should definitely get a nice boost. We will add him to the campaign team, run a couple of multi-battles, and kind of see how that one goes as well. Now, you will notice, if you have not already, when I run multi-battles, I will normally run an initial battle first. If my team is successful, then I'll go in and I'll add in the multi-battle requirements and kind of take it from there. We're going to go back up. We're going to pick between, I think we're going to do accuracy, because we do have 3-star boots and 3-star and a 3-star helmet as well. So to kind of work on the stats that I want to build first, and then we'll get this guy into campaign, probably toward a dungeon, which I can see which dungeon was actually opening as well. And this one just does not want to turn over. Some of these are going to use quite a bit of silver. So that's the other thing you're kind of keeping your eye on, especially with the auto one. You want to make sure that it is only going as far as you would like to see it, of course. All right, we're going to equip. We have one more. I will sometimes upgrade and equip these guys just one at a time. I'm not going to run all of them at one time. So honestly, I don't have to rush out and throw artifacts on them either. Keep in mind as you're going through campaign and you're advancing each time, as you go deeper and deeper in, you will start acquiring much better quality artifacts. If you spent a ton of silver just on that, you can't upgrade a champion, ascend a champion. You simply do not have exactly what you're going to need. Now, because he's already 4-star, we can check on this one. I'm not sure. We don't have anything for Bannerlord, so this is going to stay empty. And we'll come back and do a little bit of cleanup. I am tempted. Well, let's see. How much do we improve those stats? So take a look here. For HP, we've added about 2,500. Attack went in at 125, almost doubled that defense. So we're getting closer to what we would like. Speed, of course, is going to hit that 111. We're up to 25% critical rate. 67 on resist and 53 on accuracy. So crit damage, crit rate are what we're going to try to get to 100%. And we'll work on those areas as we're able to go in and improve those artifacts as well. So my top 6 are squared away. I have not decided what I'm going to do with him, but I think it would be interesting to kind of keep him. So he is another one that I'm going to I'm going to make sure just my top ones are nicely locked away from me, which they all are. And that's going to be my cutoff for right now. So these top 9 between Deliana, Elhain, War Priest, Sniper, Riding Mage. We have Myrmidon, which I'm going to remember that one day. We have Gear Grinder, Grinner, and then the Executioner. This is going to be my top 9, which means as we move through campaign with those 9 in particular, I'm going to be looking to fill that bottom 3 spots. When I hit my 12, that 12 is enough for a rotating team as well. Guys, we are good in the neighborhood at that point. I tend to stop opening shards to keep myself away from just being tempted in general. And I really push myself to go the extra mile with the champions that I have on hand. I'm not at this point going to go in and really arm my other people. These are just a couple of people we pulled a little bit earlier that will end up being food, I'm pretty sure. This pulls, of course, for Grinner, who is a rare. Don't underestimate rares. There are a couple of uncommon champions. I would also highly recommend you do not underestimate them just because of their label. It will come back to hunt you. My other big guy, I think someone in here should have been a red. I guess we missed it. What's this dwarf? Who are we missing, guys? I know there are a couple of champions I would love to get in this category. Oh, here we go. The chemist is who we were going by. But really with dwarfs, I haven't pulled very strong ones, sadly. And then this is another one with the Shadowkin is another one I have not yet pulled. Probably the ones I'm looking forward to working with the most. Now, let's see. Should we do campaign? I mean, we've made some progress. We are up to hard level, of course, and we can always go back in and fill in those illustrious moments. We are up to stage 4 in this little battle, and it's kind of sad to say, but I am running through these with some of my lower champions, but I definitely want to make sure I have maxed these guys out first. So let's go in with these 2. And let's just kind of get a feel overall for how this battle would actually look. So here we have Rotting Mage, Elhain, Deliana, and of course, Mirdamore. I think that's how close on the name. Kind of seeing if my other two champions, especially Rotting Mage and my Knight, will have a chance to kind of get in the action. And he's going to hold up probably pretty well with these two. Now, what you can do if you still have some multi battles available, using those to maximize out either all of your lower champions or going in and taking care of all of your upper champions is probably a good idea. The other night, I think I combined and did 100 multi battles. It ran my top two champions through along with 3 or 4 of my level 1 stars. So editing that queue, going in and selecting which champions you want to upgrade is definitely helpful. You can always run this a little bit slower. I do a double time as far as speed goes because I want to kind of get through these as quickly as possible. Paying attention to my time as well. As we come back and play, you definitely want to see your best time decrease. So you want to make sure you are seeing a nice decrease with stages. If you're able to finish them, but you're not seeing that decrease in time, you may want to go back and either tweak your team makeup or go back and tweak the actual artifacts that are on some of your champions. I have seen sometimes running a stage and it's taking me like 30 seconds. I go back and make some adjustments and I'm running in less than 12. So you can definitely see the difference as well. Remember, if you want to keep up with what's going on with your champion, what they've been exposed to, you do have access to that info button that will let you know as well. Even on the hard mode, if you've been taking the time to concentrate on your artifacts and really move your champions in a positive direction, you will definitely notice that you're able to accomplish a lot. We just pretty much went through these last 4 battles since we've been, just going through and having our little conversation, of course. You see your girl Deliana and Elhain really rocking out some damage at this point, and Rotting Mage is making a really good support. I'm really interested to see if we're able to get Rotting Mage to 5-star. What will that look like? And after putting a few scrolls on them, what will that look like as well? Now, keep in mind, we are in hard mode and kind of look at your XP. You will get to the point where if you are running 4 champions, you can actually pull 5 to 7,000 XP per battle. And that's where you really speed things up. If you think about a 1-star champion, adding that much XP is going to be a huge difference for them as well. The other thing I want you guys to take note of, the quality of your artifacts is improving. Now, time-wise, remember stage 6, we were at 26, 27 seconds. Here we at 32. So I know that my team is getting closer and closer to a point where they are going to be, they will require a bit more time than others. We're gonna go back with the same strategy. We're gonna just take these guys through the next couple of battles. And then if you can get them to a battle set, decide what level you want to do it at, and then run your multi-battles from there. For those who have limited time, guys, if you save up on those multi-battles, when you get them as rewards, when they're given a couple of times up front, you'll log in and have access to them. If they come with tournament points I've seen, or tournament rewards, clan rewards, can sometimes include those as well. So when you are able to stack up those multi-battles, it's a great chance for you to run your teams and to kind of play with who can and who should work together. So it looks as if we can actually get through these battles pretty well. So what you'll notice for probably the remainder of tonight's little session, I'll play a couple of minutes, and maybe a little bit tomorrow, I will drag all of my little champions, as many of them as I can, through campaign. Now, what I'm really trying to do is let's get Deliana to level 50. I want to definitely get Elhain to level 50. So I will probably stay between campaign and dungeon until that is done. Dungeon, I'm kind of waiting on the dungeon to open up for green potions. I know I definitely need some of those. Red potions will be another one. So I'll keep running through until I'm able to ascend all of those key champions. I can definitely say at that point, you have to start looking at which champions are you going to sacrifice to go from that 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 star. Now, this dungeon in particular used to give me so many issues on my first account, but with each account you build, honestly, the way you look at your teams is increasingly different, and I can definitely see why everyone's game is a little bit different as well. There are a lot of champions that I have pulled in this particular platform, my free platform, that I haven't even pulled with my pay to play account. So my pay account, the structure for some of the teams will be similar, but for a lot of these are champions that have skills that I'm working through and kind of thinking through as you guys are watching it with me as well. After this battle, we will kind of close things out. Just want to kind of give you an idea of how I'm looking at things, the direction that I'm kind of going in at the moment, and get a feel for where you guys think you want to go. Because I promise you, the tournaments are going to smack dab lay out, and we've got to be ready. If you notice, even for this one, the Catacombs of Narbuck, we're almost done. We have those two battles at the very end. And of course, we'll be ready to proceed, toward Durham Forest. We can collect here, and then you'll have a 3-day XP pass. Be careful when you use these. I try to save this moment until I'm hitting a weekend, for example. A nice little holiday moment is really good, but I push it out as far as I can. I appreciate you guys, of course, for joining me. Keep playing. We are up to level 29, so there are a few things that will open for us at level 30, and also as we continue to move forward. If you've stuck with me this long, go ahead and subscribe. Be sure to leave a comment as well. Let me know who your starting champion was and how far you've made it in the game so far. Share with me, hey, one or two things that you've learned so far that other people may benefit from as well. I'm Wicked Raider 22, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.